Now let's talk about resistance. The moments when the connection doesn't flow as smoothly as you'd hoped. Maybe they hesitate to open up, or their responses feel guarded, or the energy between you seems off. These moments can feel like roadblocks, but they're not. They're opportunities. Opportunities to dig deeper, to show patience, and to demonstrate that you're willing to meet them where they are. Resistance isn't a sign of failure. It's a signal that there's more beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered. And when you approach it with grace and intention, you transform potential disconnection into profound understanding. The key is to stay calm and composed when resistance arises. Instead of pushing harder or retreating altogether, lean into curiosity. Ask yourself, what's causing this hesitation? Are they unsure of your intentions, or are they simply not ready to share? Sometimes it's not about the question you're asking. It's about the space you're creating around it. If someone feels rushed or pressured, they'll instinctively pull back. But when you give them time, when you show them that you're willing to wait without judgment, they begin to relax. They start to trust you, and trust is the bridge that leads to deeper connection. This is where empathy becomes your greatest tool. Empathy isn't just about understanding someone's feelings. It's about validating them. It's about showing them that it's okay to feel unsure, that it's okay to take their time, that you're not here to judge but to listen. When you lead with empathy, you disarm resistance. You create an environment where vulnerability feels safe, where opening up feels natural rather than forced. And when someone feels safe, they're more likely to let their guard down. This shift doesn't happen overnight, but with practice, you'll learn how to read the signs and respond in ways that invite trust. But here's the deeper lesson. Handling resistance with grace isn't just about improving the conversation. It's about strengthening your own resilience. Every time you navigate a challenging moment with patience and understanding, you reinforce your ability to stay grounded under pressure. You remind yourself that setbacks aren't failures. They're stepping stones. They teach you how to adapt, how to pivot, how to find another way forward. And as you build this resilience, you become more confident in your ability to handle any interaction, no matter how complex or unexpected. This confidence radiates outward, shaping the way people perceive you. When you approach resistance with calm determination, you signal to others that you're someone who can be trusted, someone who won't give up at the first sign of difficulty. This quiet strength inspires them to open up, even if it takes time. It reminds them that connection isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. And when they see you embodying this truth, they're more likely to follow your lead. This is how you turn resistance into rapport, by staying steady, staying present, and staying committed to the process. Now, imagine carrying this mindset into every interaction. Imagine walking into a room knowing that resistance no longer intimidates you. How would that change the way you engage with people? How would it shape the relationships you build? The possibilities are endless, because when you master the art of navigating resistance, you unlock a new level of influence. You stop seeing obstacles as barriers and start seeing them as opportunities to deepen your impact. You become someone who can connect with anyone, anywhere, regardless of the challenges that arise. This ability to handle resistance with grace ties directly to your purpose. Remember why you're doing this: to create meaningful connections, to leave a lasting impression, to inspire others to see themselves in a new light. When you anchor yourself in this purpose, resistance becomes manageable. It becomes a challenge to overcome, not a reason to retreat. And with each victory, no matter how small, you reinforce your belief in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Over time, this belief becomes unshakable. It becomes the foundation upon which you build deeper connections, stronger relationships, and a life filled with meaning. But here's the key. This isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. Not every interaction will unfold exactly as you hope, and that's okay. The moments that don't go as planned teach you something valuable. They show you where to adjust, where to dig deeper, where to try again. What matters most is your willingness to keep showing up, to keep trying, to keep learning. Because with each attempt, you refine your ability to navigate resistance and create moments that resonate. These small victories add up to something extraordinary. They transform you from someone who blends into the background into someone who stands out, not because you're trying to, but because you've embraced the power of persistence. And yet there's another layer to this, one that ties it all together. The impact you create doesn't just live in the moment, it lives in the memories you leave behind. When you handle resistance with grace, with patience, with authenticity, you give people something to hold on to. You give them a story to tell, a moment to revisit, a spark of inspiration to carry with them. And as these moments accumulate, they shape the way people see you, not just as someone who speaks, but as someone who leaves a mark. You become unforgettable not because you're trying to be, but because you're choosing to show up fully every single time. Stay with me, because what comes next will take this even further. You'll discover how to ensure every conversation leaves the kind of impact that inspires action, how to carry this mindset into every area of your life, and how to turn every interaction into an opportunity for growth. Because when you know how to create unforgettable moments, you don't just change the way people see you, you change the way they see themselves. And that's a gift worth giving. Now, let's talk about the moments that truly matter, the ones where your words linger long after the conversation ends. These are the moments that define connection, the ones that leave an indelible mark on someone's mind and heart. When you step into an interaction with purpose, with authenticity, and with a commitment to creating impact, you give people something they can't easily forget. It's not just what you say, it's the way you make them feel. It's the sense of being seen, heard, and valued in a way that feels rare and profound. And when you master this, you don't just change the course of a single conversation, you change the way they see themselves. Think about the last time someone inspired you, or what was it about their words or presence that stayed with you? Chances are it wasn't just the content of what they said, it was the energy behind it. They spoke with conviction, with clarity, with a deep understanding of what mattered most. Their words resonated because they aligned with your needs, your desires, your aspirations. This is the power of intentionality. When you speak from a place of purpose, when every word you choose is deliberate and meaningful, you create a ripple effect that extends far beyond the moment. You plant seeds of inspiration that continue to grow long after you've walked away. But here's the deeper truth. Leaving a lasting impression isn't about grand gestures or dramatic declarations. It's about the small, consistent choices you make in every interaction. It's about asking the right question at the right time, listening deeply to the response, and responding with empathy and insight. It's about showing up fully, without distractions or reservations, and giving the other person your undivided attention. These seemingly simple actions have the power to transform a fleeting exchange into something unforgettable. They remind people that they matter, that their thoughts and feelings are worth your time, and that you're genuinely invested in their world. This is where the art of impact truly shines. When you combine intentionality with authenticity, you create a formula for connection that works every time. It's not about trying to impress or manipulate. It's about fostering understanding, building trust, and inspiring growth. Every time you ask someone to reflect on their pride, their values, their dreams, you're inviting them to see themselves in a new light. You're reminding them of their strengths, their potential, their ability to overcome challenges. And when you do this with sincerity, it changes everything. It transforms the way they perceive themselves, the way they approach their goals, and the way they interact with the world around them. Now, imagine carrying this mindset into every area of your life. Imagine walking into a room knowing that you have the power to inspire action, to spark change, to leave a legacy. How would that change the way you carry yourself? How would it shape the opportunities that come your way? The possibilities are endless because when you commit to creating impact, you unlock doors you didn't even know existed. You become someone who doesn't just participate in conversations, but elevates them. Someone who doesn't just exist in relationships, but enriches them. And as you embrace this role, you'll find that people start seeking you out, not just for your insights, but for the energy you bring, the perspective you offer, and the way you make them feel. But let's go deeper. The impact you create doesn't just benefit others, it transforms you. Every time you inspire someone to see themselves differently, you reinforce your belief in your ability to make a difference. You remind yourself that your words matter, that your presence matters, that you have the power to shape the world around you in meaningful ways. This realization builds confidence, resilience, and a sense of purpose that fuels everything you do. It shifts your focus from what you can gain to what you can give. And in doing so, it fills your life with meaning and fulfillment. And yet, there's another layer to this, one that ties it all together. The legacy you leave isn't measured by how many people remember your name, but by how deeply you've touched their lives. It's in the moments when someone reflects on your words and feels inspired to take action. It's in the times when they recall your encouragement and find the strength to push forward. It's in the memories they carry with them, the stories they tell others, the impact you've had on their journey. These are the markers of true influence, the kind that lasts not because it's loud or flashy, but because it's genuine and heartfelt. So, how do you ensure that every conversation leaves this kind of impact? By staying grounded in your purpose, by reminding yourself every single day why this matters, why connection matters, why leaving a lasting impression matters. When you anchor yourself in purpose, your words carry weight. They resonate because they're rooted in something real, something meaningful, something bigger than yourself. And with each interaction, you refine your ability to inspire, to uplift, to ignite change. Over time, this becomes second nature. It becomes the lens through which you view every relationship, every opportunity, every moment of connection. Stay with me, because what comes next will take this even further. You'll discover how to turn every interaction into an opportunity for growth, how to ensure your impact extends far beyond the present moment, and how to carry this mindset into every area of your life. Because when you know how to create unforgettable moments, you don't just change the way people see you, you change the way they see themselves. And that's a gift worth giving. Now, let's talk about the ripple effect of your actions, the way one moment of impact can extend far beyond the person you're speaking to. When you inspire someone, when you leave them with a thought or feeling that resonates deeply, they carry it forward into their own world. They bring it into their conversations, their decisions, their relationships, and as they do, your influence spreads, not because you're trying to control or direct it, but because you've given them something worth sharing. This is the true power of connection. It multiplies. What starts as a single interaction becomes a chain reaction, touching lives in ways you may never fully see. Think about the people who have inspired you. Their words didn't just stay with you, they shaped how you showed up for others. Maybe they encouraged you to take a risk, to trust yourself more, or to see the best in those around you. And as you embrace those lessons, you pass them along, whether consciously or not. You became a vessel for their wisdom, their energy, their belief in what's possible. This is how growth happens, not in isolation, but through shared experiences and collective momentum. When you commit to creating moments of impact, you become part of this cycle. You contribute to a legacy of inspiration that extends far beyond your immediate reach. But here's the deeper truth. This ripple effect isn't just about influencing others. It's about expanding your own potential. Every time you inspire someone, every time you see the impact of your words, you reinforce your belief in your ability to make a difference. You remind yourself that you're capable of more than you imagined, that your presence matters, that your voice has weight, that your actions create waves. This realization shifts something inside you. It moves you from a mindset of limitation to one of possibility. It challenges you to dream bigger, to aim higher, to push past the boundaries you once thought were fixed. And as you do, you unlock new levels of confidence, creativity, and purpose. This transformation isn't just personal, it's universal. When you step into your full potential, you inspire others to do the same. Your courage becomes contagious. Your authenticity encourages theirs. Your willingness to take risks gives them permission to embrace uncertainty. This is the beauty of leading by example. You don't have to tell people to rise, you show them how. You don't have to convince them to believe in themselves. You demonstrate what's possible. And when they see you living boldly, they start to imagine what they might achieve if they did the same. In this way, your impact becomes exponential. Now, imagine carrying this awareness into every interaction. Imagine knowing that every conversation holds the potential to spark change, not just for the person you're speaking to, but for everyone they touch afterward. How would that change the way you approach people? How would it shape the energy you bring to each moment? The answers lie in the intentionality you bring. When you view every interaction as an opportunity to plant seeds of inspiration, you stop seeing people as passive participants and start seeing them as active contributors to a larger story. You begin to understand that the moments you create aren't isolated. They're interconnected, part of a web of influence that stretches far beyond what you can see. This perspective changes everything. It transforms ordinary interactions into extraordinary opportunities. A simple question, what's something you're proud of lately, becomes more than just a conversation starter. It becomes a catalyst for reflection, growth, and self-discovery. It invites someone to pause, to celebrate their wins, to recognize their strengths. And when they do, they carry that awareness into everything they do. They walk taller, speak bolder, and show up more fully in their own life. All because you took the time to ask and to listen. But here's the key. Creating this kind of impact requires consistency. It's not enough to inspire someone once. You have to keep showing up, keep planting seeds, keep fostering growth. Every interaction is a chance to reinforce the message that they matter, that their thoughts and feelings are valuable, that they have the power to shape their own narrative. Over time, these small acts of inspiration add up to something extraordinary. They build a foundation of trust, respect, and mutual understanding that allows you to navigate even the most challenging conversations with grace and confidence. And as you refine this skill, you'll find that your ability to inspire becomes effortless. And yet, there's another layer to this, one that often goes unnoticed. The impact you create doesn't just live in the external world, it lives within you. Every time you inspire someone, every time you see the results of your effort, you deepen your connection to your own purpose. You remind yourself why this work matters, not just for the relationships you build, but for the person you're becoming in the process. This sense of alignment fuels everything you do. It gives you the clarity and conviction to keep pushing forward, even when the path feels uncertain. It reminds you that the effort is always worth it because the rewards extend far beyond what you can measure. So, how do you ensure that your impact continues to grow? By staying committed to the process. By reminding yourself every single day that every interaction matters. That every word you choose, every question you ask, every moment of presence you offer has the power to change someone's trajectory, including your own. When you anchor yourself in this truth, you stop waiting for the perfect moment and start embracing the present one. You stop doubting your ability to make a difference and start trusting in the power of your intention. And as you do, you'll find that the ripple effect becomes unstoppable. It flows through you, around you, and beyond you, creating a legacy of inspiration that transcends time. Stay with me, because what comes next will take this even further. You'll discover how to turn every interaction into a moment of transformation, how to ensure your impact extends far beyond the present, and how to carry this mindset into every area of your life. Because when you know how to create unforgettable moments, you don't just change the way people see you, you change the way they see themselves. And that's a gift worth giving. Now, let's talk about transformation, the kind that happens when you commit to creating moments of impact consistently. Transformation isn't an overnight event. It's a gradual unfolding, a series of small shifts that compound over time. Every conversation you elevate, every connection you deepen, and every moment of inspiration you spark contributes to a larger change, not just in others, but in yourself. When you step into each interaction with purpose, you begin to see the world differently. You start noticing opportunities where you once saw obstacles, potential where you once saw limits, and growth where you once saw stagnation. This shift in perspective becomes the foundation for everything you build moving forward. Think about the power of consistency. It's not the one-time wins that define you. It's the daily choices you make to show up fully, to listen deeply, and to speak with intention. These small acts may seem insignificant in the moment, but they add up to something extraordinary. They create a pattern, a rhythm of behavior that shapes how people experience you. Over time, this rhythm becomes your signature. It's what people come to expect from you, what they admire, what they remember. And when you align your actions with your values, when every word and gesture reflects your commitment to connection, you become someone who doesn't just participate in life, but transforms it. But here's the deeper truth. Transformation isn't just about what you do, it's about who you become in the process. Every time you inspire someone, every time you navigate resistance with grace, every time you lean into vulnerability, you're not just affecting them, you're evolving yourself. You're becoming more resilient, more empathetic, more magnetic. You're learning how to trust yourself, how to lead with heart, and how to turn challenges into opportunities. And as these qualities grow within you, they radiate outward, drawing people toward you. They sense your authenticity, your confidence, your unwavering belief in the power of connection. And when they do, they can't help but be inspired by it. This is where the magic happens. When you embody the change you want to see, you stop having to convince people to follow your lead. They do it naturally. Your presence alone becomes a catalyst for growth. The way you carry yourself, the energy you bring, the focus you maintain, all of it communicates a quiet strength that others instinctively respect. They see you living boldly, embracing uncertainty, and refusing to settle for anything less than meaningful connection. And when they witness this, they start to believe they can do the same. This is how you create a culture of transformation. Not through words alone, but through action, through example, through the way you live your life. Now, imagine carrying this mindset into every area of your existence. Imagine walking into a room knowing that you have the power to transform any interaction into something profound. How would that change the way you approach relationships? How would it shape the way you handle challenges? The possibilities are limitless, because when you commit to transformation, you unlock a level of influence that transcends traditional boundaries. You stop seeing people as fixed entities and start seeing them as works in progress, just like you. You begin to understand that everyone has untapped potential, waiting to be unleashed, and that your role is to help them discover it. This perspective shifts your entire approach, turning every conversation into an opportunity for growth. But let's go deeper. Transformation isn't just about individual moments. It's about momentum. It's about creating a chain reaction of positive change that builds on itself, growing stronger with each passing day. When you inspire someone to take action, they inspire others to do the same. When you encourage someone to believe in themselves, they pass that encouragement along. And as this cycle continues, it creates a wave of impact that extends far beyond your immediate circle. This is how legacies are built, not through grand gestures, but through consistent, intentional effort. It's the accumulation of small, meaningful actions that leave a lasting mark on the world. And yet there's another layer to this, one that ties it all together. The transformation you create in others mirrors the transformation you create in yourself. Every time you help someone see their potential, you reinforce your belief in your own. Every time you push past fear or resistance, you remind yourself that growth is always possible. Every time you choose courage over comfort, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you imagined. This reciprocal relationship between external impact and internal evolution is what makes transformation so powerful. It's not just about changing the world around you. It's about becoming the best version of yourself in the process. So, how do you ensure that transformation becomes your default mode? By staying grounded in your purpose, by reminding yourself every single day why this matters, why connection matters, why leaving a legacy of inspiration matters. When you anchor yourself in purpose, you stop questioning whether the effort is worth it. You know it is. You stop waiting for permission to lead. You take ownership of your role. You stop doubting your ability to make a difference. You trust in the power of your actions. And as you do, you'll find that transformation becomes effortless. It becomes the lens through which you view the world, the driving force behind everything you do. Stay with me, because what comes next will take this even further. You'll discover how to turn every interaction into a moment of breakthrough, how to ensure your impact extends far beyond the present, and how to carry this mindset into every area of your life. Because when you know how to create unforgettable moments, you don't just change the way people see you, you change the way they see themselves. And that's a gift worth giving. Now let's talk about breakthroughs, the moments when everything clicks, when the effort you've poured into creating connection finally ignites a spark of clarity in someone else. These are the moments that remind you why this work is so vital. When someone pauses, their eyes widen and they say, "I never thought about it like that before." You know you've struck something deep. Breakthroughs aren't just fleeting realizations, they're turning points. They shift perspectives, challenge assumptions, and open doors to new possibilities. And when you're the one who helps someone cross that threshold, you become part of their story in a way that's unforgettable. But here's the truth. Breakthroughs don't happen by accident. They're the result of consistent effort, of planting seeds and nurturing them until they bloom. Every question you ask, every moment of presence you offer, every word of encouragement you share contributes to the groundwork. You may not see the impact immediately. Sometimes it takes days, weeks, or even months for the pieces to fall into place. But when they do, the effect is profound. This is why patience is so crucial. You can't rush transformation. You have to trust the process. And when you do, you'll find that breakthroughs come not as rare miracles, but as natural outcomes of your dedication. Think about what happens during a breakthrough. It's more than just an intellectual shift. It's an emotional awakening. The person you're speaking with doesn't just understand something new. They feel it. They connect with it on a visceral level, and that feeling propels them forward. It gives them the courage to take action, to step outside their comfort zone, to embrace change. And when you're the catalyst for that shift, you leave an indelible mark. You become associated with growth, with possibility, with the kind of energy that inspires others to rise. This is the power of being someone who creates breakthroughs. You don't just influence people, you empower them. This empowerment isn't one-sided, though. Every time you help someone experience a breakthrough, you experience one too. Watching someone unlock their potential reminds you of your own. It reinforces your belief in the ripple effect of your actions, showing you how far-reaching your impact can be. It challenges you to keep pushing, to keep growing, to keep seeking ways to elevate yourself and those around you. And as you do, you begin to see that breakthroughs aren't isolated events. They're part of a larger cycle of growth. Each one builds on the last, creating momentum that carries you and others toward greater heights. Now imagine stepping into every interaction with the intention to create breakthroughs. Imagine knowing that your words have the power to dismantle barriers, to dissolve doubts, to illuminate paths that once seemed hidden. How would that change the way you engage with people? How would it shape the energy you bring to each moment? The answers lie in the mindset you adopt. When you view every conversation as an opportunity to spark change, you stop seeing limitations and start seeing potential. You begin to recognize that everyone you meet is carrying untapped strength, waiting for the right moment and the right person to bring it to light. And when you position yourself as that person, you become a force for transformation. This perspective shifts the focus from what you can gain to what you can give. It moves you from transactional interactions to transformative ones. Instead of asking, "What's in it for me?" you start asking, "How can I help this person see themselves differently?" This subtle shift changes everything. It transforms small talk into meaningful dialogue, surface-level exchanges into profound connections, and ordinary moments into extraordinary opportunities. And as you refine this approach, you'll find that breakthroughs become more frequent. Not because you're trying harder, but because you're showing up differently. You're bringing a level of intentionality, empathy, and authenticity that invites others to do the same. But here's the key. Creating breakthroughs requires staying attuned to the needs of the moment. It's not about forcing someone to see things your way. It's about meeting them where they are and guiding them toward their own insights. Sometimes this means asking the right question at the right time. Other times it means sitting in silence and giving them space to process. The art of facilitation lies in knowing when to lead and when to listen, when to push and when to pause. And while this balance may feel delicate, it becomes intuitive with practice. Over time, you'll develop a sense for what each moment requires, allowing you to navigate conversations with grace and precision. And yet, there's another layer to this, one that ties it all together. The breakthroughs you create aren't just external achievements. They're reflections of your internal evolution. Every time you help someone see their potential, you reinforce your belief in your own. Every time you guide someone through resistance, you strengthen your ability to overcome your own. Every time you celebrate someone else's win, You remind yourself that success is always within reach. This interplay between external impact and internal growth is what makes breakthroughs so powerful. They're not just milestones, they're mirrors, showing you how far you've come and how much further you can go. So, how do you ensure that breakthroughs become a regular part of your journey? By committing to the habits that make them possible. By reminding yourself every single day that every interaction holds potential. That every word you choose, every question you ask, every moment of presence you offer has the power to change someone's trajectory, including your own. When you anchor yourself in this truth, you stop doubting your ability to make a difference and start trusting in the power of your consistency. You stop waiting for perfect conditions and start embracing the messiness of real-life connections. And as you do, you'll find that breakthroughs become inevitable. They flow naturally from the foundation you've built, turning every conversation into an opportunity for transformation. Stay with me, because what comes next will take this even further. You'll discover how to turn every interaction into a catalyst for lasting change, how to ensure your impact extends far beyond the present moment, and how to carry this mindset into every area of your life. Because when you know how to create unforgettable moments, you don't just change the way people see you, you change the way they see themselves. And that's a gift worth giving. Now, let's talk about lasting change. The kind that doesn't fade after the initial spark of a breakthrough, but continues to grow and evolve over time. Breakthroughs are powerful, but they're just the beginning. True transformation happens when those moments of clarity become habits, when fleeting insights turn into sustained action. This is where your role deepens. You're not just someone who inspires change, you're someone who helps anchor it. You're the steady presence that reminds people of their potential long after the initial excitement has worn off. And when you commit to this ongoing process, you create a legacy of impact that endures. Think about what makes change last. It's not just about having a moment of inspiration, it's about following through. It's about taking consistent steps, even when motivation wanes, even when the path feels uncertain. This is where accountability comes in. When you stay connected to the people you inspire, when you check in, offer encouragement, and remind them of their strengths, you help them bridge the gap between intention and action. You show them that growth isn't a solo journey, it's something we do together. And when they feel supported, they're more likely to keep moving forward, even when the road gets tough. But here's the deeper truth. Fostering lasting change isn't just about guiding others, it's about embodying it yourself. Every time you model consistency, every time you demonstrate resilience, every time you push past your own doubts, you set an example that others can follow. They see you living out the values you share, and it gives them permission to do the same. Your actions become proof that change is possible, that growth is attainable, that the effort is worth it. And when they witness this in you, they start to believe it for themselves. This is how you create a culture of enduring transformation, not by telling people what to do, but by showing them how to do it. This culture of transformation starts with small, intentional choices. It's about celebrating progress, no matter how incremental, and recognizing the effort behind it. It's about reminding people that setbacks aren't failures, they're part of the process. Every stumble is an opportunity to learn, every challenge a chance to grow. When you frame change this way, you remove the fear of imperfection and replace it with the courage to keep going. You teach others that success isn't about being flawless, it's about being persistent. And as they internalize this mindset, they begin to carry it into every area of their lives. Now, imagine carrying this approach into every interaction. Imagine knowing that every conversation holds the potential to reinforce someone's commitment to their growth. How would that change the way you engage? How would it shape the energy you bring? The answers lie in the consistency you offer. When you view every interaction as an opportunity to nurture lasting change, you stop seeing people as fixed entities and start seeing them as dynamic works in progress. You begin to understand that everyone has the capacity to evolve, to adapt, to become more than they are today. And when you position yourself as a partner in that journey, you create relationships that are rooted in trust, respect, and mutual growth. This perspective transforms the way you connect with others. It moves you from surface-level interactions to deeper, more meaningful exchanges. Instead of focusing solely on immediate results, you start investing in long-term impact. You ask questions that encourage reflection, offer feedback that fosters improvement, and provide support that sustains momentum. These actions may seem small in the moment, but they add up to something extraordinary. They create a foundation of trust that allows people to take risks, to embrace vulnerability, and to pursue their goals with confidence. And as you refine this approach, you'll find that lasting change becomes not just a possibility, but a reality. But here's the key. Fostering lasting change requires patience and compassion, for others and for yourself. Growth is rarely linear and setbacks are inevitable. There will be moments when progress feels slow, when doubts creep in, when the effort seems overwhelming. In those moments, it's important to remember that change takes time. It's not about rushing the process. It's about staying committed to it. It's about showing up consistently, offering encouragement when it's needed most, and reminding others and yourself that every step forward matters. This unwavering belief in the power of persistence is what keeps the momentum alive. And yet there's another layer to this, one that ties it all together. The lasting change you foster in others mirrors the lasting change you create within yourself. Every time you help someone build resilience, you strengthen your own. Every time you guide someone through uncertainty, you deepen your ability to navigate it. Every time you celebrate someone else's growth, you reinforce your belief in your own potential. This reciprocal relationship between external impact and internal evolution is what makes lasting change so transformative. It's not just about helping others grow, it's about growing alongside them, creating a shared journey of progress and possibility. So, how do you ensure that lasting change becomes a cornerstone of your interactions? By staying grounded in your purpose, by reminding yourself every single day that your words and actions have the power to shape the world around you, that every conversation you have, every connection you make, every moment of presence you offer contributes to a larger tapestry of transformation. When you anchor yourself in this truth, you stop questioning whether the effort is worth it. You know it is. You stop waiting for perfect conditions and start embracing the beauty of imperfect progress. And as you do, you'll find that lasting change becomes effortless. It flows naturally from the foundation you've built, turning every interaction into an opportunity for enduring impact. Stay with me, because what comes next will take this even further. You'll discover how to turn every interaction into a catalyst for sustained growth, how to ensure your impact extends far beyond the present moment, and how to carry this mindset into every area of your life. Because when you know how to create unforgettable moments, you don't just change the way people see you, you change the way they see themselves. And that's a gift worth giving. Now let's talk about the mindset that anchors lasting change, the one that keeps you grounded in purpose and propels you forward with unwavering focus. This mindset isn't something you stumble upon by chance. It's something you cultivate through deliberate effort, through choosing to see every interaction as an opportunity to grow, not just for others, but for yourself. When you embrace this perspective, you stop viewing challenges as roadblocks and start seeing them as stepping stones. You understand that every moment of resistance, every setback, every moment of doubt is simply part of the process, a necessary element in the alchemy of transformation. And when you accept this truth, you free yourself from the weight of perfectionism and step into the power of persistence. Think about what happens when you adopt this growth-oriented mindset. Every conversation becomes richer, more intentional, more infused with possibility. You no longer approach people with the goal of fixing them or impressing them. You approach them with curiosity, with a genuine desire to understand their journey and contribute to their progress. This shift transforms the dynamic entirely. It moves you from transactional exchanges to transformative connections, from surface-level pleasantries to profound moments of mutual discovery. And when you operate from this place, you create an environment where lasting change can take root and flourish. But here's the deeper truth. Cultivating this mindset isn't just about how you show up for others, it's about how you show up for yourself. Every time you choose courage over comfort, every time you lean into vulnerability instead of retreating into self-protection, you reinforce your belief in your own ability to grow. You remind yourself that you're capable of navigating uncertainty, of embracing discomfort, of rising to meet whatever comes your way. And as this belief grows stronger, so does your capacity to inspire others. Your confidence becomes contagious, your resilience magnetic. People don't just admire you, they aspire to embody the qualities they see in you. This is how you amplify your impact, not by trying to be someone else's hero, but by becoming the best version of yourself. This alignment between who you are and how you show up is what makes your presence unforgettable. It's not about charisma or charm, it's about authenticity. When you speak from a place of deep conviction, when your words reflect your values and your actions align with your intentions, you create a coherence that resonates deeply with others. They sense the integrity behind your words, the sincerity in your gestures, the quiet strength in your demeanor. And when they do, they can't help but trust you. Trust is the foundation of all meaningful relationships, and when you build it through authenticity, you create connections that endure, not because you've forced them, but because they're rooted in something real. Now imagine carrying this mindset into every area of your life. Imagine knowing that whether you're speaking to a stranger, collaborating with a colleague, or nurturing a personal relationship, you have the tools to foster growth and leave a lasting impression. How would that change the way you carry yourself? How would it shape the opportunities that come your way? The possibilities are limitless, because when you commit to this mindset, you unlock a level of influence that transcends traditional boundaries. You stop seeing people as separate from you and start seeing them as extensions of your shared humanity. You begin to understand that everyone you meet is on their own journey, facing their own struggles, seeking their own breakthroughs, and that your role is to support, uplift, and inspire them along the way. This understanding shifts the energy you bring to every interaction. It moves you from judgment to compassion, from indifference to empathy, from passivity to purpose. You start asking better questions, not just about what someone has achieved, but about how they've grown, what they've learned, and where they're headed next. You start listening more deeply, not just to the words they say, but to the emotions behind them, the unspoken truths, the latent potential waiting to be unlocked. And when you do, you create moments that transcend the ordinary. You turn everyday conversations into catalysts for insight, connection, and action. These moments may seem small in isolation, but together they form a tapestry of impact that stretches far beyond what you can see. But here's the key. Maintaining this mindset requires vigilance. It's not enough to embrace it once and assume it will stick. It's something you must nurture daily. Every morning you have a choice to wake up and move through the world with intention, or to drift through it on autopilot. When you choose the former, you set the tone for everything that follows. You remind yourself of your purpose, of the impact you want to create, of the legacy you're building with every word and action. And as you make this choice consistently, it becomes second nature. It becomes the lens through which you view the world, the driving force behind everything you do. And yet, there's another layer to this, one that ties it all together. The mindset you cultivate doesn't just shape your external reality, it shapes your internal landscape. Every time you choose growth, every time you embrace discomfort, every time you push past fear, you expand your sense of what's possible for yourself and for those around you. You begin to see challenges not as threats but as opportunities, setbacks not as failures but as lessons, and progress not as a destination but as a journey. This expanded perspective gives you the clarity and conviction to keep moving forward, even when the path feels uncertain. It reminds you that the effort is always worth it, because the rewards extend far beyond what you can measure. So how do you ensure that this mindset becomes your default? By staying anchored in your purpose. By reminding yourself every single day why this matters, why connection matters, why growth matters. When you ground yourself in these truths, you stop doubting your ability to make a difference and start trusting in the power of your consistency. You stop waiting for validation from others and start finding fulfillment in the impact you create. And as you do, you'll find that this mindset becomes effortless. It flows naturally from the foundation you've built, turning every interaction into an opportunity for transformation. Stay with me, because what comes next will take this even further. You'll discover how to turn every interaction into a moment of empowerment, how to ensure your impact extends far beyond the present, and how to carry this mindset into every area of your life. Because when you know how to create unforgettable moments, you don't just change the way people see you, you change the way they see themselves. And that's a gift worth giving. Now, let's talk about empowerment, the kind that doesn't just lift someone up for a moment, but equips them to stand tall on their own. Empowerment isn't about giving people answers, it's about helping them discover their own. It's about asking the right questions, planting seeds of possibility, and stepping back so they can take ownership of their growth. When you empower someone, you don't create dependency, you ignite independence. You remind them that they already hold the tools they need to succeed, even if they've forgotten how to use them. And when they realize this truth, something remarkable happens. They stop waiting for permission to shine and start claiming their brilliance for themselves. Think about what empowerment truly means. It's not about handing someone a solution wrapped in confidence-boosting words. It's about guiding them to uncover their own path. Every time you ask, "What's your next step?" or "How do you want to approach this?" you're not just offering advice, you're inviting them to think critically, to trust their instincts, to take responsibility for their journey. This shift is transformative. It moves them from passive recipients of guidance to active architects of their future. And when they see themselves in this role, they begin to carry themselves differently, with more certainty, more resilience, more belief in their ability to navigate whatever comes their way. But here's the deeper truth. Empowering others begins with empowering yourself. You can't give someone what you haven't cultivated within. Every time you push past self-doubt, every time you embrace discomfort as part of growth, every time you choose action over hesitation, you reinforce your own sense of agency. And when you embody this mindset, it radiates outward. People don't just hear your words, they feel your conviction. They see your courage and are inspired to find their own. This is how empowerment works. It flows from one person to another, creating a chain reaction of strength and self-belief. And when you position yourself as a conduit for this energy, you amplify its reach exponentially. This ripple effect starts with small, intentional choices. It's about noticing when someone hesitates and gently nudging them forward instead of taking over. It's about celebrating their effort, not just their results, and reminding them that progress is built through persistence, not perfection. These moments may seem subtle, but they add up to something extraordinary. They create a foundation of trust that allows people to take risks, to experiment, to fail without fear, because they know you'll be there to support them, not by rescuing them, but by reminding them of their capacity to rise. And as you refine this approach, you'll find that empowerment becomes second nature. It becomes the way you interact, the way you lead, the way you inspire. Now, imagine carrying this mindset into every interaction. Imagine knowing that every conversation holds the potential to awaken someone's inner strength, to remind them of their power to shape their reality. How would that change the way you engage? How would it shape the energy you bring? The answers lie in the questions you ask and the space you create. When you view every interaction as an opportunity to empower, you stop seeing limitations and start seeing potential. You begin to understand that everyone you meet carries untapped strength, waiting for the right moment and the right person to bring it to light. And when you position yourself as that person, you become a catalyst for transformation. This perspective transforms the way you connect with others. It moves you from solving problems for them to guiding them towards solving their own. Instead of offering quick fixes, you offer thoughtful prompts that encourage reflection and action. You say things like, "What's one thing you can control right now?" Or "What's the smallest step you can take today?" These questions may seem simple, but they carry immense power. They shift the focus from what's outside their control to what's within it, from overwhelming uncertainty to manageable momentum. And when people realize they have the ability to act, even in small ways, they begin to reclaim their sense of agency one step at a time. But here's the key. True empowerment requires patience and trust. It's not about rushing someone toward a solution. It's about walking alongside them as they find their way. Sometimes this means sitting in silence while they process. Other times it means offering encouragement when they doubt themselves. The art of empowerment lies in knowing when to guide and when to step back, when to challenge and when to affirm. And while this balance may feel delicate, it becomes intuitive with practice. Over time, you'll develop a sense for what each moment requires, allowing you to navigate conversations with grace and precision. And yet there's another layer to this, one that ties it all together. The empowerment you create in others mirrors the empowerment you create within yourself. Every time you help someone recognize their strength, you reinforce your belief in your own. Every time you guide someone through uncertainty, you deepen your ability to navigate it. Every time you celebrate someone else's progress, you remind yourself that growth is always possible. This interplay between external impact and internal evolution is what makes empowerment so powerful. It's not just about lifting others up. It's about rising together, creating a shared journey of progress and possibility. And that's a gift worth giving. Now, let's talk about the moments that define you, the ones where your ability to empower others becomes a mirror for your own growth. These are the moments when you realize that every interaction is a reflection of who you are and who you're becoming. When you guide someone to see their potential, you simultaneously uncover new layers of your own. This duality is what makes empowerment so profound. It's not a one-way exchange, it's a shared evolution. Every time you help someone step into their strength, you step deeper into yours. And as this cycle continues, it creates a momentum that propels both you and those around you toward greater heights. Think about what happens when you fully embrace this dynamic. Empowerment stops being something you do and becomes something you embody. It flows through your words, your actions, your energy. Everything you bring to the table reflects a commitment to growth, both for yourself and others. You start noticing how small shifts in your approach can create massive ripples. A well-timed question, a moment of quiet encouragement, or even the simple act of truly listening can unlock something extraordinary in someone else and in you. These moments remind you of the interconnectedness of human experience, of how every effort you make contributes to a larger tapestry of transformation. But here's the deeper truth. Empowerment isn't just about outcomes. It's about presence. It's about showing up fully, without distraction, without hesitation, and giving the other person your undivided attention. When you do this, you signal to them that they matter, that their journey is worth your focus, that their growth is valuable. This level of presence doesn't just benefit them, it benefits you too. It sharpens your awareness, deepens your empathy, and strengthens your ability to connect on a soul level. And when you operate from this place, you stop seeing interactions as transactions and start seeing them as opportunities to co-create something meaningful. This mindset transforms the way you navigate challenges. Instead of viewing resistance or setbacks as obstacles, you see them as invitations to grow, to dig deeper, to listen more intently, to adapt with grace. You understand that every difficult conversation, every moment of uncertainty, is an opportunity to practice patience, resilience, and compassion. And when you approach these moments with this perspective, you not only empower others, but also reinforce your own belief in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. This dual impact creates a feedback loop of growth, one that strengthens with every interaction. Now, imagine carrying this energy into every area of your life. Imagine knowing that whether you're speaking to a colleague, mentoring a friend, or simply engaging with a stranger, you have the power to leave them feeling stronger, more capable, and more inspired than before. How would that change the way you carry yourself? How would it shape the opportunities that come your way? The possibilities are limitless because when you commit to this mindset, you unlock a level of influence that transcends traditional boundaries. You stop seeing people as separate entities and start seeing them as partners in a shared journey of growth. You begin to understand that everyone you meet is carrying untapped potential, waiting for the right spark to ignite it. and that your role is to be that spark. This understanding shifts the energy you bring to every interaction. It moves you from judgment to curiosity, from indifference to engagement, from passivity to purpose. You start asking questions that challenge assumptions, offering insights that inspire action, and creating space for vulnerability to flourish. These actions may seem small in isolation, but together they form a powerful force for change. They create moments that transcend the ordinary, turning everyday conversations into catalysts for insight, connection, and transformation. And as you refine this approach, you'll find that empowerment becomes effortless. It flows naturally from the foundation you've built, turning every interaction into an opportunity for lasting impact. But here's the key: maintaining this level of presence and intention requires discipline. It's not enough to show up sporadically or to give only when it feels convenient. You must commit to consistency. Every day you have a choice: to move through the world with purpose or to drift through it on autopilot. When you choose the former, you set the tone for everything that follows. You remind yourself of your values, of the impact you want to create, of the legacy you're building with every word and action. And as you make this choice consistently, it becomes second nature. It becomes the lens through which you view the world, the driving force behind everything you do. And yet there's another layer to this, one that ties it all together. The empowerment you foster in others mirrors the empowerment you cultivate within yourself. Every time you choose courage over comfort, every time you lean into vulnerability instead of retreating into self-protection, you expand your sense of what's possible for yourself and for those around you. You begin to see challenges not as threats but as opportunities, setbacks not as failures but as lessons, and progress not as a destination but as a journey. This expanded perspective gives you the clarity and conviction to keep moving forward, even when the path feels uncertain. It reminds you that the effort is always worth it, because the rewards extend far beyond what you can measure. So, how do you ensure that this mindset becomes your default? By staying anchored in your purpose, by reminding yourself every single day why this matters, why connection matters, why growth matters. When you ground yourself in these truths, you stop doubting your ability to make a difference and start trusting in the power of your consistency. You stop waiting for validation from others and start finding fulfillment in the impact you create. And as you do, you'll find that this mindset becomes effortless. It flows naturally from the foundation you've built, turning every interaction into an opportunity for transformation. Stay with me, because what comes next will take this even further. You'll discover how to turn every interaction into a moment of breakthrough, how to ensure your impact extends far beyond the present, and how to carry this mindset into every area of your life. Because when you know how to create unforgettable moments, you don't just change the way people see you, you change the way they see themselves. And that's a gift worth giving. Now, let's talk about the ripple effect of your consistency. The way showing up fully, day after day, creates waves of impact that stretch far beyond what you can see. Consistency isn't just a habit, it's a force. It's the quiet power that turns fleeting interactions into lasting connections, small efforts into monumental change, and ordinary moments into extraordinary opportunities. When you commit to being present, to empowering others, to fostering growth, you create a momentum that builds on itself. Each action reinforces the next, each word inspires another, and each moment of connection plants seeds that grow into something greater than you could have imagined. Think about the people who have influenced you most. What made their impact so enduring? Chances are it wasn't a single grand gesture. It was the accumulation of their steady presence, their unwavering belief in you, their ability to show up time and time again. This is the power of consistency. It's not flashy or loud, but it's undeniable. It's the foundation upon which trust is built, relationships are deepened, and legacies are formed. And when you embrace this truth, you realize that your greatest strength lies not in isolated acts of brilliance, but in the quiet, deliberate effort you bring to every interaction. Over time, these small, intentional choices become the threads that weave together a tapestry of transformation. But here's the deeper truth. Consistency doesn't just benefit others, it transforms you. Every time you choose to show up fully, you reinforce your belief in your own resilience, your own ability to make a difference. You remind yourself that growth is a process, not an event, that it's not about perfection, but persistence. And as this belief grows stronger, so does your capacity to inspire others. Your confidence becomes magnetic, your authenticity contagious. People don't just admire you, they trust you. They trust that you'll be there, that you'll listen, that you'll guide them with patience and purpose. And when they feel this trust, they're more likely to take the risks necessary for their own growth. This trust is what allows you to create breakthroughs, not just once, but repeatedly. When people know they can count on you, they're more willing to open up, to share their vulnerabilities, to push past their fears. They start seeing you not just as someone who offers advice, but as someone who walks alongside them, someone who believes in their potential even when they struggle to believe in it themselves. And when you hold that space for them, something remarkable happens. They begin to hold it for themselves. They internalize the lessons you've shared, the encouragement you've given, the belief you've modeled, and they carry it forward into their own lives. Now, imagine the compounding effect of this trust over time. Imagine knowing that every conversation, every interaction, every moment of connection contributes to a larger narrative of growth for you and for those around you. How would that change the way you approach each day? How would it shape the energy you bring to every situation? The answers lie in the mindset you adopt. When you view consistency as a form of power, as a tool for transformation, you stop seeing it as a burden and start embracing it as a privilege. You understand that every small effort matters, that every word you choose, every question you ask, every moment of presence you offer has the potential to spark change. And as you lean into this understanding, you'll find that consistency becomes effortless. It flows naturally from the foundation you've built, turning every interaction into an opportunity for impact. This perspective shifts the focus from short-term results to long-term influence. It moves you from seeking immediate validation to investing in sustainable growth. Instead of worrying about whether you're making a difference right now, you start trusting that your efforts will compound over time. You celebrate progress, no matter how incremental, and recognize the value of patience. You understand that transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of countless small actions, each one building on the last. And when you embrace this process, you free yourself from the pressure of perfection and step into the power of persistence. But here's the key. Maintaining this level of consistency requires clarity of purpose. It's not enough to show up sporadically or to give only when it feels convenient. You must anchor yourself in why you're doing this. Why do you care about connection? Why do you want to empower others? Why does growth matter to you? When you ground yourself in these truths, you stop questioning whether the effort is worth it. You know it is. You stop waiting for external validation and start finding fulfillment in the intrinsic rewards of your commitment. And as you do, you'll find that consistency becomes second nature. It becomes the way you live, the way you lead, the way you inspire. And yet there's another layer to this, one that ties it all together. The consistency you practice doesn't just shape your external reality, it shapes your internal landscape. Every time you choose to show up fully, every time you embrace discomfort as part of growth, every time you push past fear, you expand your sense of what's possible for yourself. And for those around you, you begin to see challenges not as obstacles but as opportunities, setbacks not as failures but as lessons, and progress not as a destination but as a journey. This expanded perspective gives you the clarity and conviction to keep moving forward, even when the path feels uncertain. It reminds you that the effort is always worth it, because the rewards extend far beyond what you can measure. So, how do you ensure that consistency becomes your guiding principle? By staying grounded in your purpose, by reminding yourself every single day why this matters, why connection matters, why growth matters. When you anchor yourself in these truths, you stop doubting your ability to make a difference and start trusting in the power of your persistence. You stop waiting for perfect conditions and start embracing the beauty of imperfect progress. And as you do, you'll find that consistency becomes effortless. It flows naturally from the foundation you've built, turning every interaction into an opportunity for transformation. Stay with me, because what comes next will take this even further. You'll discover how to turn every interaction into a moment of empowerment, how to ensure your impact extends far beyond the present, and how to carry this mindset into every area of your life. Because when you know how to create unforgettable moments, you don't just change the way people see you, you change the way they see themselves. And that's a gift worth giving.